guys, welcome back to Caapid Simplified. How are you all doing? And for those who don't know me, I'm Dr. Leena, who has lived this whole American dental dream moment by moment as an international, just like yourself. So I am here. Feel free to reach out to me. And are you wondering why am I here? So am I talking about TOEFL, INBD, or how to build your profile with shadowing, volunteering, or how to express, ourselves in the best way in front of admission committee, or what extra mile should I take to get into the dental school? Oops, how do I sell myself during interviews? So answer to all that is no. Here I ask you again, how are you all doing? Take a pause and ask yourself, how am I? How are you? And you can write your answers in the comments section for us to know if you are confused, panicked, stressed, or excited, happy, or thrilled for your upcoming Caapid 2022. By now, I know you know. I'm not here to make you run. I'm here to stop you. I'm here to talk about the most ignored, yet the only trigger in this process, your mental health. And I have my mentor and my friend, Pritha Saha, and a counselor for all the millennials out there. Hi, Pritha. Let me ask you too, how are you today?
I am doing absolutely wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's almost 9 p.m. here in Mumbai, and it's nice and pleasant and cold, which is absolutely unheard of in Bombay in February month. So I'm having the best time of my life. Thank you so much for inviting me in your talk show. I am so excited to be here. I'm thrilled.
Even I am. And especially, being an healthcare personnel, I was never vocal about mindfulness and mental health. So thanks to you to, come here and do this with us. And will you begin with telling about yourself and what are your interests and why did you choose mental health, Pritha?
Thank you so much for that wonderful question. So as you all know, mental health is just as important as your physical health because there is a mind and body connection. If you feel something, it affects your body. And if your body, is going through some pain, it also affects your mental health. So they do work hand in hand. They work in tandem, they go hand in hand. So, bit of Bhagavad Gita where it also talks about mindset and how to control your anger and how to find peace. So it's not that it's unheard of, it was there, but to see it as a part of your health was something that's new. And growing up, I had a lot of challenges growing up because in our schooling system there was no school counselors or guidance counselors in our establishments and institutions. And growing up, I had a lot of learning challenges. I have something called as ADHD, that affected my learning a lot, even though I was in the first 3 ranks in school, till like 5th, 6th standard. After that, I was still doing quite well. Teachers didn't quite understand me. They didn't understand what was happening, and I would get a lot in trouble because, as you know, ADHD kids are like very hyperactive. They do stuff and without understanding the consequences. So growing up, I would always wonder that I don't think anything is wrong with me. I think there's something wrong with the connection between my parents or the teachers and myself. So I can't be wrong. I mean, a human being cannot be wrong. But I think there's a gap in some understanding myself and them understanding me. And with that, I was aware of psychology later on, in my 9th and 10th high school. And that's when I decided to take up psychology. And it has completely changed my life because since 2014, since I've completed my master's, 8 years, I have changed over 150 lives.
Wow.
These
That's
are just
the ones. Number.
Yeah, that's a magnificent number because, and I feel very honored and I feel very humbled because A, there are people who are struggling, and B, some of them have reached out and asked for help, and they took the decision to heal themselves and they chose me. So it's a very humbling and grounding, and it's an absolute honor. And that is why I also want to create awareness about the importance of mental health, because please understand, all of us have physical health, but some of us are physically fit and some of us are not physically fit. But health, everybody has. The same thing about mental health. Everybody has mental health. But some people have, mental health challenges, and some people are dealing with their mental health. And this is very important. And I was absolutely thrilled when you messaged me and you asked me that, this is a kind of talk I want to do. And I had no idea the kind of stress internationals go through when they apply for dental school. Like, I had zero idea. And when you were telling me all of these things, I was mind blown. Like 5-6 years, all you're doing is being shadowing or assisting, not being paid. I mean, that is a huge pressure to be in. So talking about mental health for these students is definitely very, very important. So thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity.
Of course, Pritha, you are the best person because, you relate with the candidates, all our viewers who are going to watch this video. So yeah, definitely it's indeed a stressful path. So what's the most complaint of your patients? Is it stress?
Yes, stress, definitely. Because what happens, Leena, is life is imperfect and life keeps throwing curveballs at us, and it always keeps throwing lemons at us. So a lot of us grow up not knowing how to cope with stressful situations. For example, if you are a person, or rather if I am a person and my parents don't know how to cope with stress, and anytime any minor thing happens and they lose it, they get very upset, they start shouting or they start crying or they start getting panicky, I will learn that. And I will not learn how to regulate my emotions. I will not learn how to be logical about solving problems. And it's a learned behavior. So some people who get stressed easily, actually it's not a personality defect, it's a learning defect, it's a learning lag, I would rather say, that they didn't learn it. Yes, there are chemical imbalances, definitely. I am definitely going to talk about that as well, because like people may have diabetes, so it's not that
Easy.
they need medical attention for that. Somebody who has asthma, yes, there is air all around us, but they need a little bit of extra support to breathe properly, so that they're able to function well. So same with our brains, it is still an organ. It is not something that you bought off Amazon and said that, hey, I need a new one, please send me a new one. That doesn't work like that. So the brain, which is also an organ, goes through stress. I mean, it's the biggest organ of the body, in the sense that it's the most important organ in the body. It's controlling everything in our body. And when it's like the CPU of your computer, if it's not given enough time to cool, or it's not given rest, it's not given assistance to do things in an easier manner, obviously it's going to have problems. It's going to heat up and cause difficulties when you're using the computer or the system. So yes, chemical imbalance definitely is something that is genuinely a problem. But also, not everybody has a chemical imbalance. Sometimes it's just something that they never learn. If something happens and the only thing that they have been exposed to is shouting to deal with the problem, they will learn that, and it's a learned behavior.
Yeah, I think even I need to learn a lot from you.
Absolutely. And honestly, this is something that even I am learning every day, because like I said, I have ADHD, so impulsivity is in my blood to snap. But because I'm aware that there are things that I don't know, I actually consciously put in efforts to avoid as much as possible. But we are all human beings, so there are times when I am not able to do that well, and I do freak out. But I give myself that grace. I give myself that that flexibility, that this time we messed up, but there's
so you kind of accept who you are and what your circumstances are, right? Definitely. So before we move on how to manage it, so how deadly stress can be, and why do you think it's counterproductive?
Okay, so first of all, you need to understand what is stress. Stress is not something that we think of. Okay, stress and anxiety are actually two different things. Stress is what is happening in my body because of external situations. Now, stress is of two types. One is called EU stress, EU stress, which means stress for situations that are extremely positive. For example, you're getting married. It's such a happy occasion, right? But there's a lot of work to be done. So that causes stress within us. Okay, but it's a happy situation, but it still causes stress. On the other end is something called distress. The situation by itself is extremely negative and unpleasant, and I have to deal with it. So that as well causes stress with me. To function, for a human being to function optimally, some amount of stress is required. So on one end is hypo stress. There is nothing to do. There is nothing to worry about. Um, After a point of time, the person will get bored. They will have nothing to do and they will find something to do because they are that bored. So hypo stress, there's nothing. On the other end of the spectrum is hyper stress. There is so much that I'm literally struggling. I'm drowning with work. There's too much on my plate. I'm biting more than I can swallow. So that also can cause a lot of difficulties. Hyper stress also causes a problem. Hypo stress also causes a problem. So there's an optimal amount of stress that every individual requires to function effectively. Yeah, effectively, absolutely, in an optimal manner. And that actually differs from people to people. I may have a capacity for a lot of stress tolerance. Somebody
so
else
it's
may
similar
not.
to disease, right? Like we have threshold for everything.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
interesting.
And if we are not aware of my pain threshold or stress threshold, I will get into trouble because I will not learn my lesson. So either I'll take too much or I'll take very little, and then I will get bored, like, okay, where is my life going? I don't see something happening. So these kind of things happen. And people who are in the medical field, dentists or any other medical professional, unfortunately for them, the stress level is very high. Okay, it's a part of it's an occupational hazard. They have to deal with a lot of stress, especially when you're still in the process of getting accepted in your dental schools and starting your dental residency, or the journey as a doctor, as an established doctor.
Even after we get into the practice,
Right.
knowing the culture and everything
Right.
is,
Right.
it's
So it takes a
stressful.
lot of time to get acclimatized. So the amount of stress that you guys have to deal with is enormous. Okay. So if a person is aware that I can deal with so and so stress, it's easier for them to sort of plan their day. And a person who's not aware of their stress tolerance level, then they can get stuck in patterns where they will procrastinate, and at the last moment there's so much to do, and then they will have a panic attack. So these are patterns that we do see in therapy. And for number one, awareness is very important. Number two, awareness about how stress impacts us. For example, some people, when they get stressed, they start crying. The other people, they start snapping. Somebody else probably will start stress eating. Okay, when I get stressed, I need to take a nap. Like literally, I will start yawning. I need to take a nap. My system needs a reset. So once I'm aware of what my system is, it's very easy to become mindful and do what your body needs, but not get lost. For example, if my coping mechanism is sleep, if I'm aware that I need sleep, I can actually time myself. But if I am not aware and I go to sleep, when there's stress, obviously my work is not going to get done. And when I wake up, I would have wasted a lot of time, and I would not be rested because I'm already stressed. And then there's so much work pending, and I've also lost, one bunch of hours. Similarly with stress eating, if you don't know that you're a stress eater, or you don't realize how deeply this stress is affecting you, you probably will finish an entire box of Pringles and not even realize that you've stress eaten, and suddenly you have pimples, or you've gained weight, or you've lost weight, depending on what you eat or don't eat. Some people actually stop eating completely as well. Thinking about what could have happened, should have happened, and will happen in the future, but you have no guarantee that it's going to happen. But and all the things that you're thinking that will happen are horrible, awful, disastrous and painful. And that's
so it's
what
like a cycle, right? So one thought connects to the second thought, and it's all, it takes you to a complete different pattern then.
and thoughts are like, have you played with magnet marbles? So if you put like them like you put them separately, but you put one together and like, tuck, 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 it's just so fast. That's how it happens with our thoughts. Like I think one negative thought, and within 5 minutes, I'm probably 20 years in the future, and I'm sitting on the on the road, homeless, begging, and thinking of how to die. That's the extent of how anxiety can completely take over. So and like I said, it's a mind and body connection. So if I'm thinking scary thoughts, my body is going to react accordingly, right? My heart rate is going to increase. My breathing
Yeah.
is going to get very fast. My hands and legs will start shaking. It's going to be very difficult for me to breathe. I feel this choking sensation. There'll be that huge heaviness in my
Congestion.
chest.
Yeah.
Yes. Probably like a lot of people, when they're stressed or anxious, mostly anxious, they feel a lot of nausea or a diarrhea sensation. So they'll keep running to the
Yeah.
loo. Like you remember the time that you have to give an interview, you feel like running to the loo, you feel like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
So this is our brain, right? But did you know there are more neurons in your stomach? So the gut is called the second brain. So a lot of our neurotransmitters are actually created in your stomach. A lot of hormones are created over there, which regulate our emotions. So what you eat actually is going to affect, how.
Actually, a very good point, because whenever people teach us breathing exercises, they ask us to breathe from diaphragm, not
Yes.
just from lungs, right? So, yeah,
Why that
yeah.
is, Lena, do you know why that is?
Why?
Okay, so we have a nervous system, as you know, right? The brain,
Mm-hmm.
has a nervous system. There are two parts of the nervous system. One is called the sympathetic nervous system, okay, which is the fight, flight, freeze response. So whenever there's a stress full situation, our body goes into the fight, flight mode, right? So it's
Yeah.
always alert. It always wants to react. It always wants to, just snap or protect itself at all costs, even if
Yeah.
it means being mean or being hurtful or doing something that will break something, etc.
Yeah.
The
And
other part of the nervous, I'm sorry.
parasympathetic controls it, right?
Yes, yes. So the other part is the parasympathetic nervous system, which is called the rest and digest. This is most active when you're fast asleep. So you can see the chest and the stomach going deeply in and out. Right?
Yeah.
So to activate the parasympathetic nervous system, you actually have to do diaphragmatic breathing. When right now the two of us are talking, both of us right now, and also the visitors and viewers, just check in with your breathing right now. How are you breathing? You will notice that you're doing shallow, short, very quick breathing.
Yeah.
It's
It's
not deep.
hyper.
So take a
Yeah.
deep breath and fill in your stomach and exhale through your mouth. And when you're exhaling, pull in your stomach. So this is how you activate the parasympathetic nervous system. Basically, what you're doing is you're giving the signal to your brain, bottom up, that hey, all is well, and
Right.
you can chill out. There's no danger, and we got this. So we move that. We have that shift from sympathetic nervous system, which is the fight flight, that I want to snap, I want to react, I want to run away, to the rest and digest, where I am calm and I am able to focus at what needs to be done. And when I'm in that calm zone, solutions come very easily. But when I'm in the fight and flight zone,
Yeah.
my awareness is only for survival. So the only thing that I want to do is survive. So obviously, at that time when I'm trying to survive, I am not going to have the patience to look for solutions.
Yeah. Because you're panicked then.
Yes, yes, and this is a very simple hand model of the brain. So
Mm-hmm.
imagine this is the brain stem. Okay, this is the amygdala, and this is the prefrontal cortex. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so when we are in the rest and digest mode, this is how it works. The logical and the emotional part of the brain are working together and sending messages down the brain stem, and we are doing things. We're being more mindful. We are able to function efficiently. But when we are stressed, when we are in the sympathetic nervous system, and especially when we are triggered, like somebody says something doesn't happen. We are talking right now, and if I'm in the sympathetic nervous system mode, and the internet goes away, or the Wi-Fi stops working, I would freak out, because the logical part of the brain and the amygdala, okay, the emotional part of the brain, will get disconnected. So this is called flipping the lid. So I'm sure a lot of you have heard the English phrase which says flip the lid. This is what
Yeah.
it means. That your logical part of the brain actually goes offline. So
Yeah.
now your brain is only working with the emotional part of the brain, which is freaking out, which is like, "Oh, danger, danger, danger," all warning, bells and alarms are ringing, and it only wants to survive. Because we have to understand, the brain is a 2 million-year-old warning device. Okay, so its job was to always look for danger. So when we started evolving from, let's not even talk about us being in the animal level of evolution. Let's just talk about us being in the caveman zone. All our dangers were actual fatal dangers. I don't get food, I will starve and die. I get, bitten by a wild animal, I will bleed and die. I get stung by, a venomous insect or reptile or animal, I will, die. I eat something wrong, I die. If I fall down and hurt myself, my tribe will abandon me and I'll die a slow, painful death, because they did not have the means to, no doctors, hospital
Yeah.
at that time. If I don't find shelter on time, I will freeze to death, or I will, die out of heat stroke. So all the problems would lead to death. Okay, a very, very painful, long drawn death. But only in the last, 100 years or so, our problems are not instant death. Yes,
Yeah.
accidents and major terminal life illnesses, COVID, all of these things definitely can, harm us fatally.
Yeah.
But apart from that, think about the worst thing that can happen to us. If I don't
Yeah.
get into dental residency, what is the worst thing that will happen? I will not drop down dead. I'm just going to be extremely uncomfortable because a lot of my savings have been lost. My future is looking very vague, and I will have to reconsider everything, and that would be very heartbreaking.
Yeah.
But would it mean instant death?
No.
No. So, but if I get hit by a bus,
You're gone.
absolutely. So right now in the in this time of human evolution, this time in history, our problems do not immediately result in death. But our brain remembers that initially any kind of discomfort meant death.
Mm-hmm.
So that is why right now, any kind of discomfort that we come across, because the brain has this memory of 2 million years of evolution where, everything would mean death. It reacts like that because it still has that, memory, genetic memory that, any kind of.
And that is why all the negative thoughts they come in chain, and then final result is fatal.
Yes.
Right. So that's very interesting to know. I never knew that, but that's again interesting for people who are healthy and who are stress free, but it's very insightful for people who don't know this.
Absolutely.
So self-awareness, I think, is really important.
Absolutely. And the thing is, Malina, even the most chilled out person will face stress at some point of time. Sometimes their car is going to break down. Sometimes their maid is not going to turn up on time, and they have to figure out the whole, household chores by themselves.
Yeah.
They probably will fall down in the bathroom and hurt their knees. So stress is constantly going to be a part of your life, like the waves. Sometimes the waves are nice and mild and it's beautiful, like you're in the Bahamas, and sometimes it's going to be horrible and there's a tsunami. So that is something that we cannot control.
Yeah.
So I think in our previous discussion, when you and I were in class together, I think I was teaching you guys about how we cannot control the external situations.
Yes.
External situation is something that is beyond our control. But what I can control is
internal myself.
Yes,
to be strong, how to respond to situations.
Yes. So I can only, focus on my perception of this. So if I perspective that actually, affects how we react. It is not the situation, because see, look at this. All of us are in the same situation, right? The students who are applying for dental, or the world which is stuck in pandemic because of COVID. Not all of us have the same reaction. Some people have lost their jobs. Some people are absolutely thriving. They're okay with the fact that they don't have a 9 to 5. They can start something on their own. They can learn something, educate themselves again. And some people have absolutely broken down and lost all faith in them, the future. So it is not the situation per se, but it's how they are perceiving about the situation. Okay. And even in the same house, for that matter, if I'm with my parents and my siblings and something goes wrong, all the four of us will perhaps react very differently.
Yeah.
Because everybody's thinking about life, about themselves, about the situation, about others in their own unique manner. And that's called perspective, mindset. And in RECBT, CBT language of psychology, it's called belief system. Okay, and we have a core belief system which is formed when we are children. But you know what? I have a fabulous news for you and all our viewers.
What is it?
That thing is that your core belief can be upgraded. We all have our mobile phones, right?
Yeah.
When was the last time you updated your phone? Probably last night, right? Every time you comes across the Wi-Fi, it updates itself, or especially the apps. And if there is a phone software upgrade, it will ask you, hey, we have the new update. Would you want to upgrade your phone to the new iOS feature or Android feature? When was the last time you thought and you took a step back and asked yourself, hey, when was the last time I upgraded my thoughts?
Yeah, that
Right?
never happens.
That never happens. But like how you can upgrade your education, you can upgrade your career by taking a step back, evaluating, and implementing what needs to be done and what's missing. The same way, you can actually do that for your belief system, for your thoughts, for your beliefs, for your perception, and your mindset.
But
And
how is that possible? The core belief system can also be upgraded.
absolutely. And that's why therapy and coaching is absolutely powerful. Therapy and coaching is a fabulous way that you can go back, introspect, and because you're not doing it alone, you're not lost. There is a professional who's helping you identify which is helpful, which is unhelpful, and helping you understand what are the consequences of each of those things.
For everything, I think we need training, right? Like for cooking, we nowadays, initially it was our mothers, but nowadays it's Google, YouTube, then how to drive a car, how to learn better. So I don't know why, especially guys who are viewing this video, you are healthcare professionals. So, and you are in this process of stress, as Pritha told you. So please be aware of what your circumstances are, what is your coping mechanism, right? What is your stress reduction mechanism? It's if it's a sleep, then go to in the REM cycle, like just take a nap, power nap of 20 minutes and come back. And also control how you respond to the situation, right? And Preeta is a great person, as you all know. I love the concept of amygdala and the logical mind. I never knew that. And if you need any help, take help. It's very important to take your mental health seriously. Even if you are in the school, you can go to campus guidance counselors, and don't overanalyze and paralyze yourself, because this journey is high. We are all learning and upgrading ourselves. So yes, self-care is very important to not suffer but thrive. So Preetha, do you suggest like how often people should practice deep breathing exercises, and how long will it take for me, suppose, to upgrade my core belief system and to control how I respond to situations?
so again, it depends on the individual, and I think I'll give a very dental example so that you also enjoy it. If
Mhm.
somebody like, how much do you recommend somebody to brush their teeth? Right,
Twice.
twice a day, right? And a person who has cavities will need to take a little bit more care than a person who does not have any cavities. And somebody
Yeah.
who has to get a root canal done, their care, dental care is going to be vastly different than a child who just needs to brush their teeth every day. So that is something that we have to be very mindful of. Ki where you are,
Mhm.
where is it that you stand in life when it comes to your stress, so and mental health and your dental health. So if you are struggling with your teeth, you are obviously going to go to a professional. But if you go at the nth moment where everything is damaged and there is no way to salvage, obviously the pain is going to be a lot. And because you were misinformed and you had no idea what was happening, it's very normal to get upset with the dentist that, oh, you didn't guide me. But it is our responsibility to take care of ourselves. The same way, if we can do deep breathing for maybe I can teach this technique to all the viewers.
Mhm.
This very simple breathing technique that anybody anytime can do. Just don't do it while you're walking or driving, and right after you had a meal. This is an amazing breathing technique, and if you do it literally a couple of times in the day, within a month you're going to see a fabulous shift in yourself, and the more the merrier. So it's like, the more water you drink, the more hydrated and good you feel. The same way, the more you do this exercise, or rather any breathing exercise for that matter, it's going to help you and make you feel safer in your body. So that when you feel safe in your body, you're more in the parasympathetic nervous system, and so whenever there's a stressful situation, you don't react, rather you respond.
Yeah, I'm excited. Teach me. I,
Absolutely. So to do this exercise, I would always recommend either you lie down completely or you sit very relaxed and keep your feet uncrossed and touch them on the floor, which is called grounding. Okay, so it should not be like this, it should not be like this, it shouldn't be hovering, it should be touching
Flat.
the floor flat. And
Mhm.
if you are too short like me and you can't reach the floor, put a pillow under your feet.
Okay.
Okay, or just lie down. Okay, this is another great thing. So make sure that your hands and legs are not crossed. It's always good to do this when you're wearing loose clothes, because if you're wearing tight clothes, it probably will be a little difficult. So if you're wearing jeans, just take it off. If you're wearing a bra, just unsnap it while you're doing it. It will really, really help you. Take off your glasses and enjoy the process. So this breathing technique is very simple. It comes in we do it in 4 steps. The first step is when we inhale. Inhalation has to be done through your nose. Okay. Then we hold. While we are inhaling, we have to make sure that we are expanding our diaphragms, we're expanding our bellies. Okay. So it's completely expanded, and then we hold. When we hold, it's like a balloon. We are holding the air in our, in our bodies, and we're not letting it go. Then I exhale from my mouth as if I'm blowing my birthday candle. So when I'm doing that, I also have to pull in my stomach very, very slowly. And when all the air has gone out from my system, I will hold that again, and I will try to hold in that state of vacuum till it's uncomfortable. So for beginners, I would recommend that you do it in counts. So you inhale to the count of 3, hold to the count of 3, and always remember your exhalation has to be twice longer than inhalation. So that will be count of 6, and again you hold to the count of 3. Okay. So would you like to do this with me?
Definitely.
Wonderful. Deep breath, inhale 1, 2, 3. Completely inflate your stomach and your chest and hold 1, 2, 3. Exhale from your mouth as if you're blowing a candle. Suck in your belly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And suck in and hold. 1, 2, 3. Again, inhale. 1, 2, 3. Hold. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And hold. 1, 2, 3. So this is a very simple breathing exercise. It's going to be fabulous if you do this more often. I would recommend that the moment you wake up and you're still on the bed, do this. So it activates your system, and you're raring to go. Do this in the middle of the day a couple of times. Just make sure that you're not doing it after a meal. You can do this before a meal, because since you're pulling in your stomach in and out, you might feel a little nauseated, which we want to avoid. And another fabulous time to do it is right before you go to sleep, because that is also how you relax your body. And this is a wonderful breathing technique, because the more air we breathe, the more message that we're sending to the brain that, hey, we can move from the sympathetic to the parasympathetic nervous system, and we are safe, and we can do this.
That's amazing. So you have taught us so much. So one question, Pritha. So if our viewers, even in US, if they are struggling through stress and all, can they reach out to you? And if yes, how?
Yes, definitely. Yes, definitely. I am available for sessions. I work with international clients, worldwide. I have clients in South Korea, in Japan, in Canada, in the US, UK, working with somebody from France as well. Especially a lot of Indian people reach out to me, students who are studying. So I will post my information in the description, where you can reach out to me. You can you can go to my website and book an appointment with me, and we can begin from there.
Amazing. So the gist of everything is, guys, have a support system. It's very important. Don't just be a loner and go walk this path alone. And you can also subscribe to our channel and join our inner circle community with more than 350 international dentists. And that ways you can connect with everyone and see how the process looks like. But don't compare. Don't compare yourself to anyone. And keep moving and believe in yourself. And thank you so much, Pritha, for making us all better human beings. That's all
Oh
I
my
can say.
God. Oh my God.
Definitely. It was great having you, Pritha. Thank you so much. And we'll be in touch.
Yes.
Definitely.
I'm looking forward to, and all the very best. And I know you're starting your school soon. So all the very best. Fingers are crossed. You're going to kill it, and you're going to, make everybody smile as gorgeous as you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.